So, a while ago, someone sent me this clip.
You dirty bitch! Look what you've done to my peonies!
You can take your lovely peonies, and besides, you silly queen, they're not even peonies! They're marigolds!
Good God, I think she's right. They are marigolds.
I may not know my flowers, but I know a bitch when I see one! Oh.
What value is the gay supporting character? Who hasn't heard of Mrs. Doubtfire?
Hello!
A Robin Williams classic. Like many other people, it means a lot to me. I've seen this movie countless times, but throughout the years, I remember there was this guy, Frank, Robin Williams' brother, played by Harvey Fierstein, who helps him disguise him as a woman. I always knew there was something different about him. Then when watching this scene as an adult, it was crystal clear. This was his gay brother. Robin Williams' character even refers later in the film to both he and his partner as Uncle Frank and Aunt Jack. Fierstein is just a ball of charisma in this scene, and even though he's not in the film for that much, he makes such a big impact. Then there's another Frank, played by Steve Carell. He plays a depressed post-suicidal gay man who is recovering after his partner left him, and his family takes him in to recover. I believe this is one of Carell's first dramatic roles, and he does a wonderful job holding back and letting his body language and demeanor do a lot of the work. Little Miss Sunshine was one of those early films I saw when I was discovering more indie-like cinema, and I still love this movie very much, and I'll always remember Carell's work here. Even though he's on the sidelines, he was able to do a unique spin on the usually cliched, tortured gay character by actually not just letting him be a victim, but ultimately he's the one who helps the family in return. A gay supporting character who was written more than just a cliche. Okay, so this 2001 romantic drama starring Keanu Reeves and Charlize Theron is probably only popular to me. Chaz was a character played by Jason Isaacs. He's a neighbor who lives downstairs that helps out the main character. And I have already made a whole video about this character that you can watch. And as cliche as he may be as the gay best friend, Jason Isaacs makes him such a desirable one. His scenes are just fueled by an outpouring of emotional support, and to have him as your friend would be any girl's dream. This caught me off guard. I really love this film. I remember sitting in the theater for this one, and not knowing that there was such a great supporting gay character, Patrick, played by Ezra Miller. He wasn't a joke character or someone who was just there to complement the other characters, but a real-life human being that had a lot going on through his own issues. And you could say that some of his struggles are uniquely the queer experience, but he's written so well and he has so much depth that you can easily see him in an alternate version, being the lead.
Ew.
6 months later, my father told me he was gay.
I'm gay.
Now this is a memorable film, mostly because of Christopher Plummer. Plummer plays a man who, after his wife passes away, decides to finally come out as gay. And we see such a unique experience by the fact that this character is a lot older than the usual coming-of-age films that usually populate gay cinema. It's really special to see a character discovering his true identity much later in life. His performance is just energetic and full of life, and though you feel bad for him because he took so long to finally be himself, this is an obviously good example that sometimes it's never too late to be true to yourself. So those are just some gay supporting characters that I discovered while also discovering cinema. Because at the time I wouldn't go out and seek out gay movies, but I would be watching a normal movie and suddenly there'd be a gay character there. And maybe subconsciously or indirectly, I put that in the back of my mind as this might be helpful later to process that there's other people out there that might feel the same way you do. And what I like about some of these characters is that they're not pure angels or pure demons, but they're in between, just like real human beings are. They're complicated. And I think that's what makes good supporting characters. is that they're not just a writing tool to help the lead character get to where they need to get, but the audience can imagine what their lives are like outside of the main story. Now, back to that clip.
But I know a when I see one.
Released in 1969, this comedy involves two heterosexual men who pretend to be gay to avoid being drafted into the army. But this lie gets out of hand, and they have to cover it up. So they move into a gay neighborhood and encounter their new openly gay landlord, Malcolm, played by Michael Greer. And while this clip started out as a joke to me about an over-the-top, flamboyantly gay man who's upset about his flowers, if you actually watch the film, you'll notice how normally adjusted this character is. And he has a partner, and he's happy, and he seems to be successful. And while this character is supporting, Greer's work in it is so strong that I couldn't imagine this film being as good without him in it. In my research of the making of this film, it said that Greer worked with the director and writer to create a better, more accurate depiction of a gay man, and tried to limit any homophobic cliches that might be prevalent. Michael Greer's character Malcolm was not only supporting the leads, but supporting the history of gay cinema in a way, even just a little bit. Even though most of the times throughout cinema history, gay supporting characters are just on the sidelines, forgettable, disposable, but sometimes they're not. And if they're written truthfully and honestly, they in fact become memorable and valuable to those who need them the most.